Here he comes now, said Donald Trump, yeah. T-R-U-M-P, Donald Trump. Stir it up and turn around, come on, Trump, yeah. T-R-U-M-P, Donald Trump. Hair is looking good and it feel alright now.
Morning, folks. Having a horrible hair day. Welcome, folks. Welcome, Cyrus. But I'm having a very exciting post-Christmas day. So I'm getting my Henry Davis on. Yep, just been riled up. Got some good work to do this week, this year, you guys. Gotta get started now. But, you know, it's still the Christmas season, so... we'll get a little Christmas lights going. So, welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Suzzanne Monk. This is Trump Talk US, Trump Talk US live, 20 minutes from DC. Welcome, Mark Weimuller. Mark is a wonderful patriot. Hello, Lori. A wonderful patriot from Chicago. Does so much good work out there. Barbara, good morning, good morning, good morning. Joel, yeah, he is. Trump is fighting the left and his top party member. A lot of people who pretend to help. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Hello, Yvette. Hello, hello, hello. So, I don't know about you guys, but I experienced one of the most spirited Christmases I have had in a long time. People are saying Merry Christmas. People were getting into the Christmas spirit. Everywhere you went, Merry Christmas is coming back. By next year, you guys, we're barely even going to notice. Good morning, Laura. Good morning. Good morning, Barbara. Good afternoon. You're right. By next year, we're barely even going to notice that we didn't say Merry Christmas because it came back. I don't know if I was the only one who experienced it, but I don't think I was. Merry Christmas, Laura. I'm sure you felt it too. Everywhere, just more Christmas spirit. Everyone was filled with Christmas spirit. People were saying Merry Christmas. Everywhere you go, stores were saying Merry Christmas. Very few stores were still on the Happy Holidays that I went to. I know some were, but much more often, you're getting Merry Christmas. So we're making really good progress in the culture war. You know, we're on so many levels. Joel, you know, we're fighting the left. We're fighting Zuckerberg. So help fight Zuckerberg right now. Click share. We're fighting the globalists. We're fighting all of these things, and we're winning. We're succeeding on many levels, particularly in the culture war this year. Christmas is being brought back, and it's just being brought back by the sheer force of people enjoying the holiday and just being okay to say it. It's one of the things, you know, somebody busted my horns a little bit for saying that we need to normalize Trump support. That means it's not normal. No, that means that there are people who aren't normalized by it. You know, people who don't find it normal around them. They're so insulated in these pockets of Democrats. Laura knows, Laura, you know, you're in Chicago, so you know, they've been so insulated in these pockets and everyone's been being so politically correct. We've been insulating people even more. So everyone got so stuck in that Happy Holidays. And so now, when just a few of us are like, you know what, we're going back to Merry Christmas. Boom. Everybody wanted to say Merry Christmas the whole time. Right, Laura? Even strangers on the street in Chicago, in downtown Chicago, which is 1 degree today. Good luck with the cold. It's only 35 here in the beautiful nation's capital. So, it's amazing. It's amazing what's happening. We're winning the culture war just by sheer numbers, sheer force, and enthusiasm. So I just wanted to congratulate all of my fellow patriots for bringing back Christmas. I want to congratulate all of you because we all did that together. Janet says I work with them. Merry Christmas. Have you noticed the lights this year? Extra lights, red, white, and blue. Yep. A lot more flags out with their people have flags on their houses. One of my favorite houses I get to drive by is this 3% house. And you know it's 3% because the truck has the 3% symbol on it. And now the wife got a new one for Christmas. So it's also on the SUV. So whoever you are, House of 3%ers, Merry Christmas and keep up the good work. Oh, yeah, I bet you are, Laura. I saw that on the news. In fact, our weather guys kind of mocked your weather a little bit. They were like, well, it could be much worse. Look at Chicago. And I was like, oh, thank you for pointing that out, weather. Local DC weather guys. It was a very special Christmas. Yes, Barbara, this is totally true. She says, creating an environment of freedom to be yourself and less oppression and inhibiting of young citizens and just inhibiting of just normal conversation and human interaction. All of this PC crap that we go through. Oh, look, I got to pause Henry because he's going on. All of this PC crap that we were exposed to and steeped in through the Obama administration, frankly, got started under the progressive Republicans in the Bush administration. I hate to say it, you guys, Bush was not classical libertarian conservative. He was not one of us. Okay. He was one of them. And all of this PC crap got started. Has been going on. We've been building and building and building. In fact, if you watch even some of the 70s shows, you know, I don't mean the 70s show. I mean shows from the 70s, TV shows from the 70s. You'll see we even were starting there. And in the 80s, we were starting there with this PC crap. And it's been building and building and building. And it has trapped people. It has trapped people in this mentality of fear that we're going to offend each other. So we're all walking around afraid to talk to each other. Yes. No, they keep doing that, Lori. I'm going to tell we can't talk to each other. And this year we opened up the floodgates. We're like, no, we're going to say Merry Christmas. We're going to break that tradition, that idea, that false idea. Because Lori says the fake news and loons keep trying to make us believe there's no war on Christmas and Christians. Yes, they have had this impression to keep down the Christian faith and its expression in public for a long time. And that's been the leftist agenda. They're happy to support the Islamic faith. They're very angry at the Jews too. I got to be honest. You know, it's kind of weird. They're kind of just in agreement with their Muslim refugee friends in that they don't like Christians and they don't like Jews. So it just makes you wonder. It just makes you wonder. But now, this year, a huge difference. We need to say screw it to PC because for the very reason that it limits our individual freedom. It limits our human connection. It limits our ability to just see the other people as fellow human beings and want to help and participate in civil society. It's what creates racial divides. It's what creates class divides. It's what creates all of this division. This fear that we're going to offend each other, and then that anger that comes. Because when you're afraid of somebody, you develop resentment, you develop anger, you develop so many different things that become that hate. And that's what happens. Barbara says, now if we can eliminate the drugging of people in this country with illegal and legal drugs, we have a problem. And I'm telling you, we've been paying attention very closely to this fentanyl issue. They're doing a lot of bad stuff out there right now. The pharmaceutical industry has created some very, very powerful painkillers that are very addictive and dangerous. And unfortunately, we don't have a system that keeps those drugs off the market. In fact, we have a vast illegal drug system that makes it very easy to exchange drugs. And frankly, even people who aren't drug dealers are exchanging, you know, you exchange drugs or you have to keep them safe. We have a huge danger. We have a huge danger in this country. That is agreed. And the pharmaceutical industry has made it even worse, unfortunately. We certainly need some solutions for people dealing with pain, but I don't think going all the way to heavy opioid drugs that addict people and ruin people's lives is maybe the best plan. I don't judge you, but we do have a sincere problem. I totally agree. The Pope has lost its mind. Lori, I can't even begin to tell you how much the Pope has lost its mind. I know, Denise, everybody was saying Merry Christmas. No, the Pope has lost his mind. He says crazy things. And frankly, I just don't understand even how this Pope gets up in the morning and calls himself Catholic. Because he says crazy things. I agree. So, great Christmas. I just wanted to say congratulations to everybody. Good job, everybody. Barbara, you run. Have a great day. Yes. And to be fair, Denise, you know, we even have problems with alcohol, you know, so part of it, I think it is, you know, part of people are like, why do we have such a huge addiction problem? Well, we have people who they're not happy. They don't feel connected in their community. They don't feel a part of their family. They don't feel a part of their church. They don't feel a part of their town. They don't feel connected in these ways. And this division in our culture creates a lot of problems for people, leaves people very isolated, and a lot of people turn to drugs and negative behavior when they feel that way. I mean, I'm not trying to, analyze the whole world. I'm just saying you've met people, everybody who has seen people who have these experiences, who get addicted. There's a lot of lonely people out there, or people who are struggling with human connections and feeling left out of their community and turn to drugs. So, we got layers to solve the problem. One of the things we could do is we could certainly, what I'm even concerned about more than the people doing the drugs, I'm more concerned about the means by which the drugs affect our society. So I'm more concerned about how the gangs are using these drug sales and illegal drug sales, and, even pharmaceuticals, selling legal drugs illegally, to make huge amounts of money that they can use to engage in these organized crime operations that control Mexico, keep the border open, shoot cops, shoot border patrol, run human trafficking. I'm concerned most. One of the things I'm most concerned about, why I've always been a proponent of ending the drug war, is because the drug war is creating a significant amount of this effect, which is it creates this huge monetary value in the illegal drug industry that these organized gangs use to continue to purport violence and crime upon our communities. So obviously the way we're doing it isn't working. And one of the reasons the drug war hasn't worked, let's be honest, borders totally open. Totally open. That's one of the reasons. None of the laws in fact, even laws like Colorado's legalization of marijuana can't be functional in a society where we just have open borders, where people can criminally move goods, services, humans, because the drug cartels are always going to find a way to get in. The illegal people are always going to find a way to make money off the legal system. And so what they'll do is use Colorado's legal laws. Then we traffic Colorado weed, which is legal, out into other areas. Then we have crime across the states. And we have the drug cartels trying to control that because they make money off of that, and they take that money back to Mexico. So we have to end organized crime. We have to end these drug cartels. We have to do something about the major crime issues. And one of those things we must do, border. Now, let's talk a little bit about, I put on my post today, we're going to talk about Julian Assange, we're going to talk about Drug Villa, we're going to talk about the fake news. But I wanted to talk about this Julian Assange thing because everyone's a little bit like all at Twitter, literally. And if you're watching this, click a share button because, Zuckerberg does not want you to share. He's a little grinchy guy and he says, no, don't share. Don't anybody watch this show. Don't anybody listen to Suzzanne Monk. She's not saying anything important. So click share because I'm trying to give you guys a little bit of information that I have gathered. Here's what I know so far. Okay. Julian Assange is reported to have dumped about 3 or 30, a huge amount of terabytes of information on the Wiener email laptop, on actually even more so on the CIA files, direct files from the CIA, FBI, detailing how these government agencies tried to assist the Hillary campaign. Now, I haven't seen this data, so I don't know if that's true. I'm just telling you what people are saying has been dumped. It's terabytes of data, multiple terabytes of data, specifically. Oh my gosh, I got to do something with this hair, Kathleen. I'm having the worst hair day ever. So just like this. Just like this. We'll do this. We can do this. This will help. This will help. There we go. Much better. Much better. That'll solve that whole bad hair day problem. We'll just get this going here. There we go. There we go. So, oh yeah, that's actually much better if I just get my bangs out of the way. So, that's what I know about the Julian Assange issues. Now, yeah, no, we're going to talk. They did threaten that, but Yvette, they didn't get the votes. They didn't get the votes, and they are actually still, they continued the budget. They've passed a continuing budget until next year. So, they don't have the votes to make sure that they don't have to vote the votes to force DACA into the budget. They just don't. They just don't. Yeah, I just made this. This is just, I didn't just make it, but I made it myself. It's I use their pussy hat style, you know, but it has mega. You just go down to, you know, I went to Joann's. You get the letters. This is my Chicago Trump Street team button, you know, from back in the day, because we used to wear it at rallies because it triggers the snowflakes. You know, they get very mad at this hat. They get very, very upset at this hat. So there's the data dump. Julian Assange's account did go down over the Christmas holiday. It went down for a number of hours. There was a huge amount of speculation about why it went down. Some people are saying that Julian Assange shut it down himself. Some people are saying it was shut down by the CIA and the account is now being run by the CIA. Some people say that WikiLeaks shut it down. Now they're operating it, but somebody else is operating it. People say it was nothing, you know, it's a publicity stunt. People are saying a lot of things about why the account went down. Another interesting detail, random interesting detail, I have to share them. The Navy, the U.S. Navy on its Twitter, which I'm not exactly sure why the Navy tweets, but it does. Okay? So just accept that and move on. The U.S. Navy tweeted, quote, Julian Assange. It literally, that would quote the words Julian and Assange and end quote. And they say it was an accidental quote, it was an accidental tweet of a trending topic, that one of their people with a trending topic accidentally tweeted it. Now, I don't know why the quotes would be there. That's what the Navy said. WikiLeaks is saying, that's very interesting. Some people are claiming full evidence of a CIA conspiracy takeover of WikiLeaks. I don't think that's the case. My personal opinion, and this is my opinion, I have no evidence basis. I'm just giving you my personal opinion, because there's a lot of different stories going around. I don't think WikiLeaks has been compromised. I think there is a data dump going down. And I think that the reason that there is this information trying to shut down the account, trying to make it appear that there might be, you know, something, I know, LOL, right? The Navy, hilarious. What is that, Navy? Navy, why are they tweeting? I don't even understand why you're tweeting. Like, what are you tweeting? Don't you get on boats? I mean, what are we going to do? Tweet the enemy? We're sailing over there right now. I don't understand what the purpose of our military agencies tweeting is. I really don't. Yes. See, Julian said it, his account has been shut down. Some people are like, no, he's just saying. See, everybody's saying different things. I think, this is my personal thing, I think the account was, yes, shut down because the data dump that has just come out is uber and is actually has a lot of information, some very personal information, some very specific information, not personal, specific information to how the government itself was used to facilitate the Hillary Clinton campaign, to try to undermine Donald Trump, and to try to control the outcome of an election. So I feel that what we're going to have in the next few days is some pretty interesting revelations, and I'll keep coming back and reporting a little bit about what people are parsing out of this WikiLeaks dump, but it's a huge amount of data. And as you all know, any of you who have followed the WikiLeaks know, hello, Jasmina, any of you who have followed the WikiLeaks know that when WikiLeaks dumps stuff, it doesn't give you a nice, like, oh, point by point, this is the da-da-da-da-da, this is exactly what we're saying. No, they just give you the data. Yes, Denise, they opened a second account. The Julian Assange account is still suspended. I just checked that this morning, but the verified Julian Assange account is active. But he has not tweeted anything new in the last 24 hours, or not like 18 hours or whatever. According to my scroll on Twitter. Now, you know, Twitter can hide posts. It can hide people's posts. It does weird things. But from my personal eyeballs, just maybe 20 minutes ago, about 30 minutes ago, Julian Assange account is there. The alt account is still suspended. So, factual information I will continue to try to give you and parse out what the factual information is. As you know, this data dump is huge, and it's going to be a little while before we really get an idea of what it means. As usual, what it means is the hard part. But there's some very big information going on in here, and I think we should keep an eye on the Assange issue. And please go ahead and keep sending me some information across. Message me when you come across some good stuff, and I like to parse it out, try to figure out how much of it is true and how much of it is speculation, because you can go back and forth. There were people who said the account was deleted entirely, he was banned, all of these things. It was shut down temporarily, probably by Twitter, and now it's back up. So, That's what I know personally. And we're going to try to keep that information straight for you guys. But there's some good stuff. It's very warm in the set. There's some good stuff coming down the pike. So we're going to keep telling you about it. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Joy Vila. I know Jared was talking with me. Jared Raymond was talking with me about this earlier in the day on Facebook. As we know, Joy Vila has come out. Yep. See, Lori, this is exactly what I'm saying. There's a lot of people read a lot of different things, but and I don't think that's necessarily, what's true, what's not true. That's what I'm trying to parse out. So we're going to continue to keep the information straight, because already information that I read from one site was verifiably untrue because of my own eyes. I could go and look and find the account still active. So I'm gonna try my best to do what I can to help make sense of what the information we have. And of course, not all of it ever comes out for real. It's very difficult. So I want to talk about Joy Vila. Joy Vila, as we know, recently came out with a story in Politico about how Corey Lewandowski grabbed her butt at a party. Now, she's been using this little hashtag #MeToo protest to get some press. As we know, she is considering a political run, I believe, in the state of Florida. And she is continuing on. She tweeted this morning, and I had to tweet back to her. I had to reply back to her. She tweeted this morning something about, when you're quiet, when you don't say anything about sexual allegations, it's bad. People, blah, blah, blah. You know what these Me Too people are about. Like, oh, I'm so strong for standing up. So I tweeted back, if you didn't have the self-respect to stand up at the moment and address the situation at the moment, no one's going to give you the respect now that you're using it for publicity, because this is exactly the problem I have with the Me Too movement, is that a lot of these women are using their victimhood to get attention. The appropriate solution, let's just get clear, the appropriate solution to inappropriate sexual advances from men is to say, no, stop it. I have no interest in you doing that. Don't do that again. If you continue to do that, there will be consequences to your actions. And then I think those consequences should involve a knee to the groin. Personally, I don't think there'll be consequences. And by consequences, I mean later, I'm going to call the Washington Post and give a huge expose about how you're a perv. We used to be able to solve these differences between men and women in more private means. And I know that the little Me Too generation and these neo-feminists want to go around saying that, no, it's time that we come out and we stop living behind closed doors. Okay, it's time that we continue to function in society with respect for one another. And there is no respect. Look, if you're a woman and you come and you say something, and I find it take offense to what you say. In a minute, Jared, I will. Hold on. I definitely will bring you in. And I take offense to what you say. I'm going to say, I say something or I say nothing and I let it go. Okay? And what's not cool is later to bring it up as gossip and smear you across the world. Oh, so-and-so said this. I was wearing this dress and she said, that's a little tight on you. And I just don't understand why she's fat shaming me. That's not civil. If you were offended in the moment, say, hey, I'm sorry you don't like my dress. Don't call me fat. Or two, don't say anything and let it go. Good morning, Marsha. And be bigger than that. Move on. Don't care. Sticks and stones. Sticks and stones. Right. This is how we were dealing with sexual harassment. Now, does that mean that there are situations somebody said, well, sometimes you can't deal with it. You can't address the sexual harassment because then you're going to lose your job and you won't be able to feed your family and your kids. Let's be honest for a second, women. Let's be honest. If you are silently allowing your boss to physically touch you inappropriately, or to make sexual advances to you inappropriately, and you are letting that happen to you so that you can make money, you are in a long line of sex workers. I got to be honest. You have prostitutes, you have strippers, you have women who have jobs and get paid and endure sexual harassment for those jobs. Waitressing used to be one of those jobs, you guys. Let's be honest. Anybody who's waitressing knows you get men who hit on you when you're a waitress. And cocktail waitressing, very much so. It was a very frustrating job because you get hit on by drunk men all the time. horrible, very annoying job. But the job is you deal with this environment and you make money, and you make good money and you make quick money. That's the job. You agree to do that job. If you don't want that job, you can do it elsewhere. Now, I understand the feminists want this society where women can do whatever they want and they're not going to be harassed, but we're not going to get that society because people aren't nice. If we could magically just want a society where people didn't commit crime, people didn't shoot each other, people didn't hate each other, people didn't fight, people didn't steal, we'd be living in heaven. We're not living in heaven. We're living on earth with flawed, desperate people who do bad things and who are rude and who make presumptions and who say the wrong thing. We're flawed human beings. So the best way to deal with those things is in strength. I agree you should address it. If someone sexually harasses you, you should address it. But the proper way to address it is with the person or with the person's supervisor. The improper way to deal with it is smear it all over the news and use it for your own political gain. That's heinous. That's heinous behavior. It actually undermines the cause of women who actually have been seriously sexually harassed because you're just using an incident you could have handled quietly to get gain for yourself. Yeah, Damien, exactly. Every business I have heard of has a zero tolerance policy for sexual harassment. There should never be a reason a woman cannot report it, right? I utterly agree. And I couldn't report it. You do realize in Hollywood, I mean, Harvey Weinstein, it's the reality. You go and you don't agree to the casting couch, you might not get as many roles. And there are several acting careers. There are probably hundreds, perhaps thousands of acting careers that never got anywhere because they wouldn't go on the casting couch. But if you went on the casting couch, and then you had a career, and now you want to think you're a hero to all those women who didn't go on the casting couch because you're finally standing up and saying something, screw you. Those women didn't have a major acting career. They didn't have a movie career. They didn't sell themselves for success. They did other things because they didn't want to compromise themselves. Now, you don't get the credit for, oh, now I'm a good person because I'm me too. I'm a hero. You're not a hero. You're not a hero. You kind of sold your sexual exploitation for money. It's sad. Yeah, no, Barbara says it's kind of like that show 48 Hours. If reported, the crime can be solved sooner than it occurs. If you wait, the evidence goes away. Correct. Yeah, Lori, I think a lot of these women are lying about it. And I think some of the ones that aren't lying about it are spinning it in a way that you put up with it already for so many years, particularly in Hollywood. And now all of a sudden that it's a bandwagon, that it's a movement. Now you join in. It's sad. It's sad. If you really wanted to help women, you'd do something to help women. You wouldn't just jump on a bandwagon to get yourself some press. Let me read this for a second. She was real friendly with the men. But we had a girl at work. She was real friendly with some men that came in the store. But when the assistant manager got behind her, grabbed her boobs, and started humping her, she immediately turned him in. Yeah, immediately turned him in. I know there's more to it. Let's see if I can see. Immediately turned him in. He was fired after admitting to his boss he did it and asking the boss to protect him. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, no, this is what I'm saying. I agree. You're not heroes. You're not being PC. You're actually making it, you actually are admitting that you participated in the culture of sexual abuse and basically said nothing while other people were probably abused by the same individuals. You said nothing. You did nothing for anybody else. You didn't protect the other women all this time. Now all of a sudden you get to be in a magazine and you're protecting women. I'm not buying it. And Joy Vila, I'm not buying it from you either, sweetheart. I've always been a little bit suspicious when we have Bernie people who come into the movement and they get a lot of fame, they get a lot of attention. And from the beginning, Joy Vila, she wore the MAGA dress, but she really wasn't a MAGA person. And it is only after she got involved with the campaign, Corey Lewandowski, after she got involved with the campaign, that she had greater political aspirations. She's a singer. She sang songs. She sold a lot of albums to a lot of Trumpers because she wore that dress. Now she wants to play the Me Too game, and I just have to be honest. I think it's a Democrat move, and a Democrat move is not a move that any one of us on the Trump side is going to respect. We don't respect victimhood. We don't respect trying to use victimhood. We don't respect this victim politics. So She's lost about 11,000, maybe more followers in just the last few days over the issue, and I think she's going to continue to lose more. And as some of my male friends have said, a lot of people were just mesmerized by her very voluptuous figure, and now we're kind of waking up. So we'll see. That might be the case. That might be the case. But as long as she continues on this path, I cannot in any way respect what she's doing. So, Joyvula, me too? Seriously? No. Hashtag not me. Hashtag not for me. Not for me. Now, I wanted to talk about, I saw a video today. It's on my page. It's on my page. Go take a look at it. They talk a lot in the fake news about how England hates Trump. And the British don't want Trump to come. And Trump isn't going to be welcome here. I agree, Kathleen. Trump isn't going to be welcome in England, blah, blah, blah. Lies, 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 okay? They are organizing a march for Trump with I believe is still scheduled later in the year to go to England. And they're organizing a march for Trump to celebrate. Because there are actually a lot of British friends, a lot of our British compatriots who support Donald Trump. The Brexit people are our people, and there's a lot of them. And they, unfortunately, as we know, as we've seen how Brexit has unfolded over the last, since it was elected, we have seen it hasn't gotten implemented, and there are provisions of it that continue to be dragged out by the government. There's all these issues. They had the vote, but the vote did not have the impact that the people expected. And literally, it seems to me as if the British people do not have elective control over their government at this point. The government basically can just do whatever it wants, apparently. Although they are making inroads and they are continuing the good fight, we need to support them as well. I think that's why I shared the video today, and I'm really excited to see that the British for Trump, UK for Trump, are organizing a march, because I do in fact stand in solidarity with my Brexit Brits. With the British folks who understand national sovereignty, understand the importance of political integrity and national sovereignty in the country, of dealing with the immigration issue, of dealing with radical Islam in the country, and handling these things honestly, and actually giving the people back over to the vote of the people, instead of this big government statist ideology coming down from above, telling the people what to do. Now, Denise says the Queen is the problem. I am never a fan of the royal system, and any American, any true American patriot should not be a fan of the royal system. So, but what I think is what's the parliamentary system and the leftist agenda is supported by globalists, frankly, globalists like the Queen. The Queen is a globalist, and she's certainly not as much of a national sovereigntist Brit as previous royals have been. So the real problem being is that the Nigel Farages of the world and the Kate Hopkins are actually being constantly assaulted. And these European countries, they've gone further down the path of self-destruction and of globalization. They've gone further down the path, and they're smaller. They are easier to impact than the United States, which is more divided physically, like land-based. We see the shining sea. We're more divided than Europe is. But additionally, we're a larger nation. We have a huge population. And we are much more an independent nation. We're not a nation that has spent, which to Denise's point, not a nation that has spent decades, centuries under royal rule. We're a nation that was formed but a few hundred years ago by the individual citizen wanting to take control of their own self-governance. So it becomes Europe is far further gone. And unfortunately, they need even more to break the PC model. They have even a greater difficulty. It's even further ensconced in in their government. So I'm really excited to support any of our British compatriots who are out there fighting for national sovereignty, fighting for the individual rights and the rights of individual nations. I agree, Kathleen. I totally agree. Now, I think Brexit folks are getting beat up and they need to fight back, and whatever we Trumpers can do to send them encouragement, or even just to share their stories, even just to share what's happening in Britain, to let people know the fake news that you're getting about England having no respect for Trump, not wanting, England is not Chicago, you guys, okay? No, we didn't want to be raised by royalty, and England has kept that on. And I do believe, Jared says, I believe Theresa May is a globalist, and I agree as well. She was a reluctant supporter of the Brexit movement. She's been reluctant the whole time. She is not in any way, she is nothing like a Nigel Farage. She's nothing like an enthusiastic British national who wants to protect the rights of England, of Britain, to make decisions about its own people. And immigration, which unfortunately is one of the real problems with the EU, is that immigration is impacted and controlled so much by the EU. These sovereign nations who are actually enduring the problems are having a real difficulty, and a lot of nations who are in the EU have had to stand up, and we have problems like Sweden is accepting a huge amount of immigrants and struggling immensely, whereas Poland is doing a lot more to actually try to protect their own people. So Europe is messed up, you guys, but it's not as messed up as the fake news says. It's not as messed up as the fake news says. So the fake news wants you to believe that everybody in England hates Trump. No. They're holding a march, and we need to continue to let people know about that. Now, where are we at? Oh, good. We've been talking a little bit. I looked up on the news. Hey, Angie, how's it going? Love my Angie. Angie's such a huge patriot throughout the year, and just one of my positivity patriots. That's what I call Angie. Just a patriot that is just positive to all the different types of patriots, all the different people in the movement. She's just been such a support, an emotional support. So we love her. Yep. Damon says, hate me if you like, but Parliament is the problem, and it's been since the 1300s. I agree. Parliament is the problem. And I think, unfortunately, with globalism right now, you have a layered effect. Because the royal family has also become a very globalist entity, and they use their influence, whatever that may be, albeit figureheadish, but, they have wealth and other means, connections in other ways. They're using that in conjunction with their leftist parliamentarians, their leftist parliament. So those two things linked together actually are making the globalist agenda worse over there. Merry Christmas, Angie. Can't wait to hug you again. I know, and plans for Moar are coming. I'm so excited. Moar 2018, it's going to be like a huge reunion. It's going to be awesome. I'm really excited. So, Damien, I agree with you that Parliament is the problem, but I think like here, our wealthy elites, our Warren Buffetts, et cetera, link up with the leftist politicians. They connect and they work together to impose globalism on the people. It's brutal. Brutal. See, no matter what I do, if I try to put do not disturb, the phone still rings. What? All right, we're back. So, I think going forward, the globalists are the real problem. This is what I was saying. We elected a wealthy person who was not one of the elites. He wasn't in these special clubs. He wasn't in the big groups. He wasn't in all the little linky links. He might have rubbed elbows in different circles with the Clintons, but he's certainly no Warren Buffett. He's not up at the White House every day. He just wasn't. We elected somebody wealthy, but not an elite. And that's why they're mad. They're mad because we didn't elect one of their elites. That's why they're fighting us, because they don't control Trump. The people don't control Trump, but we control Trump a lot more than they do. Because we vote, and we write, and we communicate with our president. And it's one of the things that's great about this president is he is responsive to the people. For like the first time ever. So, You're not going to find any of this stuff on the news. You're not going to say, I did my little thing. Soros continues to be a bigger problem. To be fair, we isolated into Soros, Jared, but the real problem is the entire globalist movement. So it's the Rothschilds, it's Soros, it's the individuals that engage in the Bilderberg group, it's several shadowy individuals of elitists we don't even know. The globalist movement has several facets, Soros being only one of them, and he's just one of the most active ones. So it's Angie, DC is treating me great. The swamp, the swamp has beautiful weather, and I'm down here all the time enjoying the Washington people. To be fair, whatever they tell you about Washington being very blue, it may vote very blue, but people have a lot of respect for politics here on both sides of the aisle. Certainly compared to something like Chicago. So I just want to give, whatever they tell you about DC, here's why they tell you it's so blue, okay? Because it is 50% black. DC is 50% black. So they say, oh, well, it's blue because, black people all vote Democrat. If anybody tells you that DC is uber liberal, tell them that's racist. All black people don't vote Democrat and walk away. That's what I would do. That is from my personal experience. Damien, you have a great one. You too. And you keep on keeping on. This movement is going to take all of us, and every single individual, every time, even a little share does so much good, you guys. We work as a legion. So please keep up. Please keep up. Yeah, see? Yeah, Angie, you know what I'm talking about then. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So what I saw today, I went on the news, I go on the news, I go and I look and see what's the news talking about. Well, CNN, okay, you guys, I just want to prepare you in advance. CNN is going to call Melania Trump a tree killer, okay? They're going to call Melania Trump a tree killer because she is cutting down the, what is it, Jackson Magnolia or some magnolia tree that's been there since the very old magnolia tree, 1800s, been in the White House, on the White House. It's dead. This tree is dead. It's dead on the inside. The branch has been entirely eaten out. It's been held up by wires since the 70s. The tree is dead. Okay. The experts came and said, look, this tree is dead and the branches are going to fall on people and hurt them. You have to take this tree down. Melania, in her good, reasonable sense, as the lady of the estate, said, let's take this tree down. The tree is dangerous. It's time to take it down. Exactly, Barbara, the tree is dangerous. Let's take it down. Now watch, you guys. I'm giving you a heads up because the CNN just broke this story a couple of hours ago. So they're going to ride this and the left is going to scream that she's anti-arborist, blah, blah, blah. The tree needed to come down. She's having the wood preserved for historical purposes. This is in no way Melania hates trees, but when you see the Lorax as a guest on The View next week, talking about how he speaks for the trees and he resists Trump, you'll understand what the hell I'm talking about. They're going to make a stink of it because that's what the left does. So, what do we do? What do we do when the left makes a stink? When they don't want us to say Merry Christmas, we just keep saying Merry Christmas. When they don't want us to, go out and rally and use our voice, what do? We do a little this. Yes. This is what we do.
Yeah, he comes now, said Donald Trump, yeah.
That's what we do, you guys. The more they try to shut us down, the more they try to spin us with the fake news, there's going to be a new, big, beautiful tree. And I'm glad because we need more trees planted by the Trumps and we need less trees that are dying. It's actually symbolic of our country. There is a tree from our beginnings that was dead and we are now making it great again. Yeah. Well, Glenn, part of the reason the tree had to come down is because it was growing other trees. It was growing leaders. And they took one out. and it made an opening so that they could get to the roots. Yeah. So you guys, we're going to keep on keeping on. We're going to keep doing Trump talks. I got a lot of stuff coming down the pike. There's a lot of winning coming ahead. And we got a lot of work to do to make sure there's even more winning. So, merry day after Christmas. Happy Boxing Day to everybody. Happy Canadian Christmas or not Thanksgiving, whichever they do. They do something. Merry Christmas to all of you guys. Happy New Year coming up. Let's get ready for a big 2018. We got a lot of work to do as this mega movement. And I'm looking forward to doing it with all of you great patriots out there. And you know who you are. This is your girl. So good. And it's going to make this country so great, you guys. It's your girl, Suzzanne Monk. Bye-bye.